It is now November, I guess, 9th. I'm Jouelzy, and I'm just getting home from an election party. It is 1:10 Central Time. I live in Texas, a red state that went to Donald Trump. And I'm sure when I wake up in the morning, it will be announced that Donald J. Trump is president of the United States of America. And I'm numb. I can't believe that we're here. I knew that America kind of hated me, right? I've said this in several videos, that they hate our being, they hate our blackness, they hate our womanhood, but I didn't think that the hate was this visceral, this real. I don't know how I'm supposed to exist in this country. I grew up in a pacifist religion. My family is Jehovah's Witnesses. And the one thing that stuck with me was, they don't believe in a literal heaven or hell. They believe in a resurrection. And in the Old Testament, I believe it's in Daniel or something, there's this statue that represents the systems of the world. And the last system was of iron and clay, which doesn't stick together. It's not cohesive. Let me look this up, because I'm horrible at quoting Bible scripture. And it says, I think it's so as you saw the iron mixtured with baked clay, so the people will be a mixture and will not remain united any more than iron mixed with clay. In the time of those kings, the God of heaven will set upon a kingdom that will never be destroyed, nor will it be lifted to another people. It will crush all those kingdoms and bring them to an end, but it itself endure forever. I feel this was taught to us to speak to the end of the world and the fact that there would be a new system of things. But that doesn't make me feel better, because what I remember is that this is the same belief that my ancestors carried over with them while they were chained up in boats during the transatlantic slave trade, before Christianity even became a thing for them, that if they just made it through, their freedom and joy would come on the other end. This is the same thing my ancestors told themselves when they were picking cotton and tobacco and indigo and setting up the infrastructure and the foundation of the United States of America, that if they just make it through, there will be something for their children, for their legacy. This is what my ancestors told themselves when they were being hosed down during Jim Crow and the fight for our civil rights. That if we just made it through, God would come through for us. That there would be a new kingdom, a new freedom, where man, woman, and child would be treated equally. Where this dream that we all have would become a reality. When my grandparents and parents in the 80s thought that building up a 401k and buying a home and telling their children to go to college and pull up their pants and wear a belt and don't curse and don't say nigger and speak English properly would tell them that they could be part of this freedom that America has spoken so highly of. But we have to remember that the American standard of freedom came through manifest destiny, where white men pushed out all the people of color, where they pushed them all out of their way so that they could be the ones to rule over this country. That's what American freedom is built of, and for some reason we were allowed to think differently. And I haven't cried like this in public since I was online in 2009. And I'm just thrown. I'm just so thrown. I can't stay in Texas, because the one thing I do know for sure is that this is a guarantee for violence. It was a guarantee for violence even if Hillary Clinton won, but I thought that the violence might not be so But now that Trump has won, there will be an enragement that we have not seen before in our lifetime. I can't live in a concealed to carry state. I can't live in a state where it's so easy to buy assault rifles. I can't stay here. I can't stay in a state that even under Obama would take a case up to the Supreme Court to say that they don't have to enact Obamacare. I can't believe that this man is president with a GOP controlled Senate, with over 50% of our states controlled by the GOP. The only thing to look forward to is that there's no way that Donald Trump will have a 2-term presidency. It's almost heartbreaking that Barack Obama is being followed up by a man who publicly endorsed racism, xenophobia, misogyny, populism that the KKK endorsed. This is what hurts so much, that white people were so scared that a black man rose to the power of president of this country, that a black woman sat by his side, that they turn out like this. I can't even begin to understand this sort of hatred that means. That if I am this torn and this sad, what does that mean for Barack Obama? What does that mean for Hillary Clinton? This is obscene. Like, fuck Ivanka Trump. Like, fuck the Kushner family. Everyone that had a role in normalizing the bigotry that the Trump campaign has spewed, in normalizing the place that this sort of degenerate oppression has in our place of politics. It is only going to get worse. I would love to leave this country now, but it's irresponsible for me to leave. Like, where would I go? You know, it's like, where would I go as a black woman? Any country that's dominated by black folks is so, like, come on, bruh. Like, the Western world has their hands deep in the pockets of every black dominant country. And it's not like America is the only one spiraling down into this alt-right, ultra-conservative. We have England with Brexit. You know, Le Pen just graduated Trump for winning in France. So 2017, watch out, y'all. I could go back to West Africa, sure. I would entirely be flexing my American privilege, which only further disenfranchises the native people or the local people, right? Going back to West Africa where there's like no middle class. You're either wealthy or you're poor. And I would go back, and because I'm American, get to go back into this upper class and just be shitting on the people of the poorer class, because that's the way capitalism works, and capitalism is what rules the world. It just sucks to think that I'm fighting the good fight, not for myself, but for the legacy of my family. And that this is a continuation of what generations of my family, since we became an African American, since the beginning of my ethnicity, have fought for, and we still have not achieved it. I don't know. Maybe my opinion will change in the week to come. Maybe something magical will happen and Trump won't really be our president. I don't know. My inclination as a black woman is to apologize. But I feel like that's what we've been doing for so long. This election comes down to the hands of white men and white women. I don't need to explain this because this is not my fault. I just know that I'm going to take the brunt of the fallout that happens from this. And that's such a shitty feeling. I'm bone weary and I'm tired for every generation of my existence that has fought for us to be free, and to lose like this tonight. Deuces.